Diana Ross is 81 now. She is a living legend. But not all is glitter. The gowns and the hair feel like a fairy tale, yet the real story is deeper and more human. I spent weeks digging through old interviews, stage clips, and family moments. Here is the truth I found. She is not a recluse fading in silence. She has 5 children and 8 grandchildren who keep her world loud and full. She swims, meditates, and protects her sleep so the voice stays strong. New shows are on the books, including a return to big arenas overseas after about 2 decades. That alone breaks the easy rumor of decline. But the crown came with weight. Behind the flawless smile were long nights, whispered doubts, and losses that never left the spotlight. I will reveal it step by step. First, her rise will sweep you off your feet. Then I will open the doors she kept shut. From Motown glory to private grief, the path twists more than you think. Let us start where it began, in Detroit. A church girl in Detroit, singing in talent shows, then Motown changed her life. As a teen, Diana co-founded the Primettes in 1959 with friends from the neighborhood. By 1961, they signed with Motown and became the Supremes. 3 years later, in 1964, Where Did Our Love Go shot to #1 and changed the radio forever. By her early 20s, she led a run of hits like Baby Love and Stop in the Name of Love. The Supremes stacked 12 United States #1s in the 1960s. That is a wall of trophies before most of us finished college. The part I never forget is the nervous girl inside the star. She once admitted she tested her voice in a studio bathroom and thought, show business is not as glamorous as I thought. I love that image because it is real grit, not glitter. The machine polished her, but the work was hers. That rocket blast of success set her up for the next chapter. The lights were about to get brighter and the pressure heavier. Supremes on the charts, then Hollywood Lights. Diana stepped into Billie Holiday's shadow and made it sing. In 1972, she led Lady Sings the Blues and turned in a performance that earned an Oscar nomination and a Golden Globe the next year. She also recorded the soundtrack, pouring soul into every note. She was among the first Black women ever nominated for Best Actress. Then came Mahogany in 1975, with a theme song that climbed to #1 in 1976. She even helped design the film's stunning wardrobe, tapping the fashion training she once studied. It looked easy on screen, but the work was intense. Stories from the set say tempers flared and lines were crossed. One day, she even slapped Berry Gordy in a burst of frustration, proof of the pressure boiling behind the take. On camera, she glowed. Off camera, the grind was bruising. The superstar era had fully arrived. But behind those hits and costumes sat a fragile bond with the group she started in Detroit. That is where the first cracks showed. They were the sisterhood, hit after hit, but cracks were growing. As Diana's star rose, friendships inside the Supremes strained. She later wrote, "The girls treated me very badly. I had been tormented, treated as if I were invisible." Florence Ballard, a founding member, was replaced in 1967 as the group shifted. Diana left for a solo path in 1970. Florence fell on hard times after the split. By 1976, she had died at just 32. At the chaotic funeral, Diana arrived with security, took the microphone, and spoke through tears. She told the room, "Nothing disappears, and Flo will always be with us." That moment haunts me because it holds love, regret, and history in a single breath. Mary Wilson would later share mixed feelings about the old power dynamics. No matter which version you believe, loss is the part you cannot undo. Even at the peak of fame, grief was walking beside her, and the most complicated relationship of all was still ahead. It tied love, power, and a secret child to the center of Motown. He built Motown. He helped make her a star. They also shared a secret. Diana and Berry Gordy were more than artist and boss. They were lovers whose personal and professional worlds blurred. In 1971, while married to Robert Ellis Silberstein, Diana gave birth to her first child, Rhonda. Years later, the truth of Rhonda's paternity emerged. Her biological father was Berry Gordy, and the revelation landed gently because the resemblance had always been there. Rhonda has said, "The bottom bottom line was, I looked just like him. Imagine carrying that truth while cameras watched your every move. The love story with Berry was genius and chaos. Diana would later call him a genius gone mad, a line that says everything about how hard he pushed her. The music was soaring. The private weight was heavy. I have more to uncover about the hardest chapter and how she fought back. You are watching Golden American Legends. If this story matters to you, please subscribe, like, and share, and stay with me as we face the fall and the comeback. Even stars can fall. Diana chose to get help. Her world shifted fast. In May of 2002, after years of touring and stress, she entered a rehabilitation center for personal issues. By late December of that year, she was stopped by police in Arizona for driving under the influence. A breath test read about 0.20, more than twice the legal limit. The headlines were loud and harsh. Court dates followed in early 2003. In 2004, she accepted responsibility and served 2 days in jail along with 2 years of probation. Officers described her as polite and cooperative during the arrest. I respect that she did not hide. She sought help before the summer tour and then kept doing the work after the case. In later talks, she stressed health, rest, and purpose. She even said she would not retire unless she lost her voice. That is not denial. That is discipline. This chapter could have ended the story. Instead, it becomes the setup for the most important role she plays at home. Mother of 5, beloved by her grandkids, but she has also faced loss. Diana's first child is Rhonda. Then came Tracy and Chudney. Her sons Evan and Ross Arn followed in the 1980s. Today, she has 8 grandchildren, and she lights up when she speaks about them. She divorced twice, first from Robert Ellis Silberstein in 1977, and later from Arn Nass Jr. in 2000, and both splits stayed civil. Then came a shock that hurt long after the love had ended. On January 13th of 2004, Arn died in a climbing accident in South Africa. That grief hit while her legal troubles were still fresh. Through it all, she leaned on her children. She has said many times, "My 5 children really take care of their mom." You can feel that pride in small details, like the cloak she wore at the Met Gala in 2025 with her children's names stitched inside. Family steadied her when the spotlight shook, and that foundation helps explain how she looks and moves right now. They say she is fading. They say her best is gone. The real Diana is just getting started. At 81, she stays busy, joyful, and sharp. She walks carpets with family, then chooses sleepover parties so she can sing the next day. She swims, meditates in the morning, and prays at night. She says, "I love what I do," and you can see it. In 2024, she even served as the ceremonial godmother of a new cruise ship, celebrating on board with loved ones. In 2025, she is back on big stages, including a long overdue run in the United Kingdom after about 2 decades away. At the Met Gala, she wore a custom cloak embroidered with the names of her children and grandchildren. That is not decline. That is legacy in motion. Tell me honestly, are these years a decline, or is she still an icon? I say the myth of beyond heartbreaking falls apart when you watch her live. Now, let us bring this home. She triumphed on stage. She faced heartbreak in life. Now she shines on all fronts. When you look past the glitter, you see the pattern. A teenager from Detroit leads a record run of hits. A new actress earns top awards attention and carries whole films. A mother rebuilds after rehab, holds her family together, and still steps on stage with joy. That is the truth that lives beside the headlines. Her grace in grief, her honesty in recovery, and her devotion to family make the legend deeper, not darker. She even received the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2016, a national nod to a lifetime of work. To me, Diana Ross's legacy is not tragedy. It is courage and craft, tested and proven. If you enjoyed this journey, subscribe to Golden American Legends and stick around for more stories that make history feel alive. Thanks for watching, and please like, share, and watch another video on this channel next. What detail changed how you see Diana Ross today? I will see you in the next one.